The last section of our basic math training you will find in your basic math workbook, and this is the last sheet called aggregate. Now it often happens where we are trying to very quickly get information from a spreadsheet and we can't understand why we cannot get the results we are looking for. Here we have employee numbers and their sales for 2014 and 2015 sales. Now if I wanted to very quickly check on the value of the sales, I could either do an auto sum or I can just select the data. Now because column B has only got sales values, if I select column B, I should be able to see the sum on my status bar. But instead it only shows account value. If I select my 2015, here it does seem to be working. I've got an average, account, and a sum. So why is it that I cannot see the sum in this data? If I go down, because these values come from other working books, we'll notice that there is an error in here. And I cannot simply delete it because there may be many errors in a spreadsheet. You'd have to go through checking for more and more to be able to get this to work. Instead, there is a function that we can use that can bypass the errors. And this function is called aggregate. The first thing you do in aggregate is you choose the function you want to use, and they give you a choice of statistical functions you can use. In this case, I want to use a sum function. I want to see the total sales. Then when I push comma, it gives me a list of items I can ignore. And you'll see number 6 is to ignore error values. What's also quite helpful is number 5 and number 7, where we also can choose to ignore hidden rows. Because often when you are totaling and summing data, it'll include the data that's in the hidden rows, and that's not what you're looking for. So I'm going to choose to ignore the error values. The array or the data that I want to check is column B, and I'm going to push enter. And it gives me a value of 4.9 million. If I had to go and delete that cell over there and check this against it, I can see that the value here and the value here is correct. So it's a nice, easy way of being able to double check your formulas and functions when it's not self-calculating. Keep in mind, if I had done an equal sum function, because there is an error there, it also would have not worked because you cannot sum an error. So this is where the aggregate function is very useful to use.